Awesome. Okay, so one thing I think that I probably should do, we probably, looks like some of the questions have to do with like the reading.
Hmm.
So maybe I should pull up the book. I don't know.
Yeah, I have the book too, so we
Oh,
can
yeah.
we can reference the book as well.
Okay.
So the first couple, I've kind of just glanced through the um, questions,
Okay.
and they're talking about the different sampling. So, and we're just trying to figure out which one is which. So there's like the convenient sampling. There's the convenient sample, the simple random sample, and the stratified sample. Hang on, let me just pull it up here because.
Okay. I see that. That they're okay.
So we're just kind of trying to figure out which one is which.
Okay. Do we have to? Oh, I see. We have to match it. Okay. That's easy,
Matching.
right? Maybe. Okay.
So
Simple
there's
random.
systematic, simple random sampling, cluster, stratified, and convenience
Okay.
are the different ones. So,
So the cluster sampling, is that A? Because they're in groups. Maybe not. Hold on.
um,
Maybe not.
I kind of thought the A was going to be convenience sampling because it's just the patients that come in, like, when she treats them. So it's not the overall, it's not everyone because it would be impossible to uh, question everyone. It's just a sample, and it's only the people who enter her clinic. So to me, it would have been more of a convenience sample.
Okay. Let me look. Make sure I'm looking at the same part you are. Dang it. Sorry, my computer is not working correctly right now. And so,
No worries. I'm eating chicken, so.
okay. Okay, are we looking at the same preparation assignment or are you looking in for the group meeting theme?
Yeah,
Are
I'm
you looking
looking
at
at
the
part two. It says you
attachment?
will fill this part out during your group preparation session.
Okay. So is yours in a Word document or is yours on iLearn?
Mine's in a Word document.
Okay. Mine is too, but I feel like we're looking at something different.
So for
Is
my,
your first question?
go ahead, sorry.
No, you're good.
Um,
Um,
Number 6 says determine the correct sampling method for each scenario, and then there's A, B, C,
okay.
D, E.
Okay. So you think the first one is the random sampling,
A convenience sample.
the convenience one?
Hmm.
And that's where it's just random, right? Where they just, whoever is conveniently able to do it, they just do that, right?
Yeah, just whatever they can reach at the time, because it would be too hard to do a random sample because the the overall population is just too big. It would be impossible to get everyone. So this convenience sample is just whoever they can get.
Okay. Perfect. I think you're right.
Can't
There we
spell
go.
convenience. There we go.
Okay.
Or sample.
Is convenient. Okay. All right. So now we're doing B, right?
Yep. All right. Do you want to read that one?
Let's see. Okay. So B is the Colorado Department of Health obtains an alphabetical list of 2 million adult Colorado residents and constructs a pool survey subjects by selecting every 1,000th name on the list after randomly choosing one person from the first 1,000 on the list. I remember him talking about that one.
Me too.
Um, a systematic sample.
That's the one I was looking at, where they select every certain numbereth item in the population. They start at a random point. Yeah, that makes
Yes,
sense.
cool. All right. Right. All right. Let's do C.
In
Okay.
a Gallup poll of 1,059 adults, the interview subjects were selected by using a computer to randomly generate telephone numbers that were then called. I think we can pretty much say that one is simple random sampling.
Yes, I agree. So in the book, do they call it, I'm just looking, they call it simple random sampling, and in the video, he just called it random sample, right? They're the same,
I
right?
didn't, I'm not sure what video you're referring to because I didn't see a video other than,
So I watched these two videos. I can't, for some reason, I can't find them right now. But I watched these two videos. Oh, so like on iLearn, it's under the week 1 supplementary videos. Did you watch those?
no, I don't think I did.
Okay. Well, that's basically what I did for the preparation. I thought that's all you had to do. And then when I got back in here, I was like, oh, there's an individual preparation part that I haven't done. But I
Okay, I think
totally
this
get
is a
what's going
learning
on with
for
the
everyone
video.
because I didn't know about the supplement videos.
Awesome. So we balance each other out. We're good, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I'll
Okay, so
try
I
to
think
figure it out.
I would imagine the simple random sampling is the same. It's just he called it random. So that's
Yeah, I would think so.
okay. Let's do D. A
Okay.
dietitian has partitioned people into age categories of under 18. 18 to 49, 50 to 69, and over age 69. She is surveying a simple random sample of 200 members from each category. Okay, a simple random sample of 200 members. So
I think that would be the cluster because they separated them each into different categories according to age.
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I mean, that only makes sense. I'm like, it says simple random in there, but
I think that's why it can get confusing. That's kind of what I was looking at.
yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right.
All right. A Johns Hopkins University member surveys all cardiac patients in each of the 30 randomly selected hospitals. I think,
All cardiac pain.
go ahead, sorry.
No, I don't know which one. I'm just like all of them. So all of them from randomly selected hospitals.
I
Is
was
that
thinking that one would probably just be simple random again, just because it didn't really specify, like, shoot, where'd it go?
I don't know. I'm trying because it's like it says. I wonder if it's stratified because for stratified, I don't know because do we have one that was stratified or not? So stratified is when the population separated,
Right.
but then it's simple random sample. So that can't be it, right? Because he's doing all of them.
Oh, that's a good point. He is doing all of them. And
Um,
surveys all cardiac patients in each of 30 randomly.
so
Except
the
for he's
hospital's
not,
random.
yeah, except for he's not doing all the hospitals. He only picked 30 randomly selected hospitals.
Okay.
So that wouldn't be
Now I'm
convenience. It's
confused.
definitely not about convenience.
Officially confused. Okay. Um,
Maybe
I still think it's stratified, but I'm like still unsure because they all have something in common, and it's not systematic because it's not like every few.
right.
Um,
We have cluster and stratified are pretty similar. It might be one of those.
yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to like kind of break them apart to see because in the stratified it says that the items are sampled are organized into groups, and I assume that the groups are just that they're all cardiac patients, and
Yeah.
then a random sample is drawn from each. So I assume the random sample would be the hospitals for the stratified sample.
So you think it's stratified?
I think it is,
I would agree
but
with that because I think a better example of cluster is the age categories. Because then there's more stratified than it is a cluster.
okay. So let's go with stratified then.
All right.
Spencer, what are you doing? Are you checking my answers to see if I'm doing it right? Then get out of here because you're distracting me, Spencer. My husband thinks he wants to be a part of the meeting
Oh
when he
yeah.
only has 3 children to take care
Hey, he's gonna help us out,
of. Well, he's taken this class what 3 times, so
That's a lot.
from 3 different places. So he knows statistics like the back of his hand. But okay, we are moving on to the next one. Spencer, really you're making me feel like you're watching me.
Okay.
Not really doing much.
Okay, so now we're still determining the type of sampling for these next ones too, right?
I think so. They want
Okay.
to determine general patient satisfaction with the patient's primary care physician, determine the type of sampling method used in the following scenarios.
Okay. They take a simple random sample of doctors and then sample all of the patients that the doctor works with. All of the patients that they work with. Okay.
That seems more complicated than just a simple random sample.
Yeah, it does. It kind of sounds clustered to me, but not, but then it doesn't because,
Do you think that one would be stratified too? Because it's not different groups specifically, but it is definitely a
yeah,
step for
I that's what I was thinking because I'm like, that's kind of like the other one, and that's how we decided.
that. Yeah, I think so. I
So
agree.
we'll just stratified on that. Okay, so the next one is they put all of the residents' names in a computer and use a random number generator to get a sample of 100 patients.
That would, I think, be simple random sample.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
They divide the residents up by gender and then do a simple random sample of residents within each gender. That's tricky.
You know what? For the cluster one, I don't know. What's the definition for the cluster one? I know that I don't think that one is a cluster. I don't know.
It
Because
can
in my definition, it says um, the population is divided naturally into sections. Then all individuals within a randomly chosen cluster will be chosen as subjects. That's the only one of my definitions that says all.
That's true. This one
Now
says
I'm
consists of
like,
taking all items in one or more randomly selected clusters or blocks. So yeah, I think it is cluster.
yeah.
It is the only one that says anything about using all of them.
I don't know though. Is that the same definition as like in the book? I don't know because I didn't look at the book before.
Yeah, the book says consists of taking all items in one or more randomly selected clusters or blocks. For example, all the accounts receivable in an item and a few randomly selected months.
Okay.
So that definitely sounds like a cluster.
Okay. So which are we gonna? So do you think the ones that we chose as stratified are still stratified, even though we read that all of them? I'm kind of confused because I'm like,
Let me read the definition for stratified real quick. It says a stratified sample is when the items to be sampled are organized in groups of homogeneous items called strata, and then simple random sample is drawn from each of these data. So I think so, because we get confused. We get confused when we think that they're simple random sampling because it says it's a simple random sample, but then they say specifically which sample it is.
Right.
So I think we're right that it's stratified.
Okay. But we think that, did we think that C was clustered or not?
Yeah, see, we said we think it's a cluster because it
Okay.
was a specific group. They specifically grouped them by gender.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. All right. So then let's do D then. Okay. They randomly pick key intersections in the city and then picking every fifth person that walks by after randomly picking one of the first 5 people to be in the sample. I think that's systematic.
Yeah, I agree with you. It definitely sounds like systematic.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Number 8. So we're determining whether the scenario is observational or experimental.
Yeah. And then if it is experimental, we need to determine the response, treatment, and the subjects.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, so for A, it says the Center for Disease Control obtains current flu data by randomly polling 300 men and 300 women.
I
So,
feel like that would be observational because there's almost nothing you observe.
right,
There's no experiment set up, you're just polling people.
right. I agree.
All right, so then it's experimental.
Determine the response, treatment, and subject. So you have to like label each thing. Is that what it's saying?
Yeah, I think so. So you need to figure out like who are the subjects, what are they looking for, and what's the treatment.
Okay.
And spelling is not my thing today.
So this is what I'm a little bit confused about. So even though, so observational is when they don't control any of the conditions, but um, I guess they are. I mean, I guess they're, I don't know. Are they controlling it because they're randomly polling or like a certain amount of people? Or is it,
They don't have anything controlled because they can't control the reactions. They can't control, like, so for observational studies, it says, in an observational study, researchers observe the responses of the individual without controlling the conditions experienced by the individuals. Therefore, they do not assign the participants to treatment or control groups. So the experimental, I guess it would be observational then.
well, yeah, because I'm reading observational. So the definition that he gave in the video, it says characteristics of sample members are measured or observed. No attempt is made to modify them. So in observational, they're not trying to change anything, but in experimental, they are trying to change something.
That's a good point. It is observational.
So I think it is observational because they aren't trying to change anything. They're just taking in data and saying, okay, that's how it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, cool.
Well, that makes number 2 really easy.
Yeah, right?
It's experimental.
Yep.
We still got to figure out the all the different
Okay.
things that
Like
go
the
along
different
with
parts
it.
of it, right?
Yeah. So, for instance, we need to figure out what the response is. So, response.
Okay. So you plan to conduct an experiment to test the effectiveness of sleepies, a new drug that is supposed to reduce insomnia. So you randomly divide 1,000 patients into 2 groups, where half get sleepies and the other get a placebo. You record the gender of each subject. You will then observe how many hours of sleep they get in a week. So the response, we didn't really go into this in the video. So does it give definitions in the book about response or anything like that?
That's what I was just looking for. I read over the whole thing and it didn't talk about response.
Okay,
It's not in depth.
interesting. So we kind of have to figure that out on our own.
Yeah, I would guess that it's like kind of maybe like the outcome, like what they're looking for, I guess.
Okay. So like how many hours of sleep they get in a week, would that be the response?
I think so.
Okay. And then the treatment would be the taking the drug, right? Or not?
Yeah, the
Sleepies.
yeah, the treatment would be the sleepies.
Okay.
And then the subjects would be the ones that receive the drug. Um,
Okay.
I wonder if it wants us to divide the subjects because the subjects that received it are the treatment group, and the subjects that didn't are the control group. I wonder if they want us to. Maybe that's not
Right.
important.
They don't really specify, I guess.
No, they didn't.
I guess we could, I mean, but I guess we could specify either way because when we go in to take like the quiz thing, there it's just going to be the exact same questions, right?
I have no idea. I hope so, but
I'm
I have no idea.
hoping so, right?
Yeah. If not, not prepared.
um, so let's just put, okay, I'm just going to put um, the control group is the one, or the placebo group, right?
Yeah, the ones who didn't receive the drug.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's all of it, right? Response treatment subjects. Perfect.
Yes, that is all of it.
All right, so last question. In September of 2004, Nucleus Pharmaceuticals announced the results of its first human trial of whatever that is,
Hmm.
a topical form of skin ointment. A total of 224 patients diagnosed with skin irritations were randomly divided into three groups as part of a double-blind placebo-controlled study to test the effectiveness of the new topical cream. The first group received a 0.5% cream, the second group received a 1%, and the third group received a placebo. Groups were treated twice daily for a 6-week period, and the degree of skin irritation was recorded at that time. This, I would definitely say, is a designed experiment.
Absolutely. They control a whole lot of things.
What are the subjects?
So we want to just like be specific again, just in case, because it just seems a little too easy to put. The subjects
Yeah,
are the ones
like
that are being
it's
treated.
like 224 patients that were diagnosed with skin irritations are the subjects. Is that the subject that they're looking for?
I think so. And then like the first group, would the first group be a control or would it be a treatment group? Because they're still receiving treatment, but they're receiving much less. And then the third group is receiving nothing. Maybe the first two are both treatment groups, and the last group is a control group.
Yeah, I think I think the first two are like the treatment group because they're receiving something, you know,
Yeah.
and
So the all of the people in the experiment are the subjects.
right. Okay. What is the response variable in the experiment? Okay. The response, I guess, was to test the effectiveness of the new topical cream, right?
Yeah. The response variable is does the cream work?
Okay. All right. And
And then what
then,
are the treatments? The treatments are the cream.
cool. All right, so we have to do, this is the first preparation, this is the first assignment for the group one, and then there's a second assignment too, right?
I
For
think so.
lesson
I
three.
was looking. It doesn't look like there's another group assignment this week. It looks like we do a group quiz, but we each put in our own, like we each have to submit our own quiz, but we can help
Okay.
each other. So I don't know if like we want to stay on Google Hangouts and take the quiz together. I don't know if that's allowed.
I think that's what you're supposed to do.
Okay, because I was a little fuzzy on quite
Yeah,
understanding.
yeah, because I think there's a group quiz and then you take an individual quiz as well.
Oh wait, I think
Um,
before we take the group quiz, we look at the uh, answer key
oh, yeah.
and go over that together. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not
Winging
quite
it. We're winging it here.
totally, totally winging it. Winging it. All right, so I will pull up the answer key. So if I'm looking at the answer key and I read that, do you want to just check ours and make sure that we were doing it all right, and then I don't have to have both of them open?
Yep, that sounds like the easiest way to go.
Awesome. Okay, so skipping down to part 2. Okay, so the first one was convenient sampling.
Yep,
Second was systematic.
we got that one right.
Third was simple random.
We got that one right.
The fourth was stratified.
We didn't get that one right. We thought that was cluster. Remember we were between the two on that one?
Stratified and cluster mixed up because
So the next one is cluster then?
yeah.
Okay, so let me just want to make sure I label it so that I remember. Okay, so then E is the cluster sampling then, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so what was our determination for that?
So we said that D was cluster because they broke it up into categories, but I'm remembering now from the reading it talked about stratified was when you um, or cluster was when you broke it up into different homogeneous items.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I see. So for the cluster, we need to, I guess my determination is like the all thing, like all of them within the randomly chosen cluster are part of it. And then the stratified, it's not like that. For that's, I don't know, at least that's how I remember it.
Yeah, I think that's helpful. The ones that we thought were clusters because they broke them up into groups, those are actually stratified. The ones that are more homogeneous items separated together, but they're still simple random, those are stratified.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, cool.
Okay. So moving on to number 7, right?
Yep.
Okay, so 7A was cluster. Did we say it was stratified?
Yes.
Okay, now we know.
Yep.
We know.
And that's, now we know what we did wrong. Okay, cool.
B, rimple. Simple random sampling.
Yep, we got that one.
C, stratified sampling.
We
We
put
said
cluster.
and D, systematic sampling.
We got D right.
Good. 8A was observational study.
Okay, we got that.
D was experimental.
All right.
The response variable was hours of sleep they get in a week.
Okay, we got that.
The treatment was the sleepies or the placebo.
Perfect.
And the subjects were 1,000 insomnia patients.
Okay, cool. So that's the, they're looking for the number.
Yeah, we
Okay,
just have to get the number.
cool.
It seemed too easy. It was making me
Right?
nervous.
All
A
right.
was a designed experiment.
Okay.
B, 224 patients diagnosed with skin irritations.
Yep.
Ooh, C was the degree of skin irritation observed in the patients. So I think we got that one wrong.
Yeah, we did because we put like to test the effectiveness. I guess I mean, but they wanted like specific, the degree of skin irritation was recorded. So like that's like that, the last sentence of that problem. So that's what they were looking for.
Okay, that makes more sense.
That's what was recorded is the degree of skin irritation. So that makes sense.
Okay, that does make sense. And then
Okay.
the treatments were the 5% cream, the 1% cream, and the placebo.
Okay.
What did we say?
I think we just said the cream in general, but
Yeah, so they wanted specific
they
increments,
wanted the specific, like what each group was receiving. So,
including the placebo, which is important.
right. So each treatment, so when they ask the treatments, they want the specific one for each group that they're testing or whatever.
Right.
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
All right,
That was
shall
not
we
too bad.
go and take the group quiz?
I think so. Let's see. Um, okay, group meeting. Okay, so the group quiz is in like the lesson 3 folder, right? Am I looking at that right?
It's in the lesson 2 folder so underneath individual preparation, there's the group meeting. It's in that
Okay,
folder.
and that's the quiz that we're taking.
Yeah, so it says
Okay,
attend the group preparation through Google Hangouts. As a group, work through problems in the part 2 of the preparation assignment. Check your answers using the key. After you've completed the group assignment, click Start below to begin the group preparation quiz. And it says you are encouraged to work together, but each member of the group must submit his or her own answers in order to receive credit.
cool. Let's do it right now.
All right, let's do it.
Start. Okay, I completed it. Yes. Yeah.
Actively participated in this week's group meeting. Yes.
How are the other people going to answer that? Are they going to be able to just watch the video? Is that why we post it, or is it just proof that we had the group meeting for him?
I don't really know.
Because they didn't even respond to me, so I don't know. I was just like, I felt like we need to get it done early in the week so that we have the rest of the week to,
Yeah.
like, if we want to come to each other and ask questions. So
Maybe he'll give them another chance to, because I mean, it's the first week, so maybe everybody's just like, I don't know what to do.
yeah, we're all like, what's going on here?
Because this is different than anything I've ever done in a class.
Yeah, me too. This is a huge learning curve for me. Completely.
Figuring out.
Okay. So, okay, so number 3. I'll go ahead and read that one so we can kind of figure that out.
Okay.
Researchers would like to determine if reviewing material consistently within an hour after class helps students perform better on exams than if students wait to review material the day before the exam. To answer this question, the researchers are trying to determine if an observational study or an experiment would be more appropriate. They are discussing who the population would be and how they will determine which sampling method will best represent the population. Which of the 5 steps of the statistical process are the researchers currently applying?
I think design the study.
I think you're right. I mean, because that's when they're still questioning. So
Yeah, they don't even know what they want to do quite yet.
yeah, because second, I mean, the second part is actually starting the experiment, right? The second
Yeah.
step.
Collect
Yeah.
data.
So
A
design the study.
researcher. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You want to
Okay.
do 4?
Yeah. A researcher has collected the result of a survey where the participants were asked how many hours of TV they watch each day. The researcher tallies the frequencies of each category and computes mean numbers of hours watched. She then creates a histogram to help illustrate the overall distribution. Which of the 5 steps of the statistical process did the researcher apply? Probably, wouldn't it be C, describing the data?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because it's not collecting it because it's already, you know, being tallied up. She's showing it in a graph, so
Yeah, and she hasn't made any inferences. She's just showing what she's found, I think.
right. I agree.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so 5. Mumbai, India is a quickly growing city of importance in its own country as well as the global economy. A marketing research firm has been asked by a prominent fast food restaurant to help determine if the citizens of Mumbai would support this fast food business. From a list of all registered taxpayers, 3,000 names are randomly selected. Each individual on the list is mailed a brief questionnaire. The researchers receive 1,049 responses. The population is,
Hmm.
okay, I'm gonna have to, this stuff always confuses me.
I think the population would be, it's either the 3,000 people or it's the citizens, because the population is the overall people being tested. So I think it would be the citizens of Mumbai. But I
Just
don't think it would be the 1,049. I think that would be the subjects.
Yeah, I agree. I think the subjects would be the 1,049 well, the subjects could even be, couldn't they be the 3,000 people that were even just mailed the questionnaire?
Yeah, for
Because
sure they could.
they're saying, these are the subjects that we chose, and then, but only that many people responded.
Yeah. Do you think it would be the citizens of Mumbai?
I'm trying to decide.
Because that would be the overall, because it's the it's
Yeah, yeah, because they're trying to determine if the citizens would support it. So I think, yeah, that's the population, I think, right?
I think so. Okay. Should we go with that?
Yeah, I say we go with it.
Okay.
I don't even know. I don't know how these are graded, but
I don't either.
hopefully not too harshly. Okay.
Because that just seems like it could have two different answers.
Well, wait, because then the next question is the same question, but it's asking what the sample is.
So the sample would be the 3,000 because those are the people they tested, whether or not they responded or not.
Okay.
So I think we're
Yeah.
right. I think the population would be the citizens, and the sample would be the 3,000 who were mailed the questionnaire.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
So confusing. A sample
Yeah.
is a subset of a population. Yes, I think you're right. Okay. All right. All right. You want to read number 7?
Yes. Okay. The studies have shown that retention of classroom materials can drop as low as 58% within 15 minutes of class and within 44% after the first hour, uh, after after the first hour after class. The forgetting curve continues so that uh, within 6 days, only 25% is remembered. How can a student conquer this forgetting curve? The researchers in this study claim that constant review is important. Suppose your teacher wanted to test this and invited you to participate in a study where you were asked to review specific material 15 minutes after class for 10 minutes, after an hour after class for 10 minutes, and then again 2 days after class for 10 minutes. Your teacher then gives you a short 10-question quiz where your score out of 10 is recorded. What type of data is your teacher collecting? Holy smokes, that's like a lot of information to process.
Yeah, it's like, and this specific, and this specific, and then this specific.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's asking
So,
if it's quantitative or categorical. I feel like it would be quantitative. These are numbers and you can add them to each other. They're not just labels or colors or something.
right. And like the teacher's using something to measure like what you retained.
Yeah,
So when it's quantitative, he said to relate it to like there's a measuring device included in that,
yeah.
and then categorical is just like a category. And I don't feel like
I definitely don't think this fits in the categorical
yeah, I think
category.
yeah, I think it's quantitative.
Okay, awesome.
At least that's what I think.
I agree.
Yeah. And then the second, I mean, number 8's like the same information, but it's like the last part it says after the 6th day, your teacher asks you if you feel confident that you've retained at least 50% of the material. He then records your responses, yes, no, or not sure. What type of data is your teacher collecting? I
Definitely
think that's that.
categorical. Yeah,
Yeah,
because there's no way you can add or have any sort of quantitative discovery with those kind of answers.
right. Cool. Okay, I'll read number 9.
Okay.
Studies have shown that retention of a class room material. Oh, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool. So then we'll just do the last part again. So your teacher also selects a group to give no review to the material over the 6 days. This group is called is that the control group?
Um,
I don't know. They're not population. They're a group, but they're not giving a review. I don't know what that
yeah,
means.
I guess they would be the control group because they would be the ones not receiving the treatment.
Okay.
The treatment in this case being the study sessions, or the review, not the study sessions.
Okay. Well, because it's not the hypothesis group for sure, right?
Oh no, yeah, for sure it's not. And it's not the treatment group because they're not receiving the treatment. And it's not the population group because that would be everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the control group.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's do number 10.
Which of the following would be considered an experimental design? A telephone poll asking people about whether or not they vaccinate their children, administering the tuberculosis vaccination to one group and giving a placebo to another, a census, a mailed survey asking people whether or not they received the tuberculosis vaccine. I think B.
Yeah, I agree. Administering it.
And there's also placebo, so there's actually a group that you can like look at both
Compare.
things.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. All right, 11. In a study to determine the average wage of working people in Mumbai, which of the following would be the best sample? Every 10th worker that you meet as you travel the streets of Mumbai, all of the workers in one working district of Mumbai, many randomly selected workers in each of several working districts of Mumbai, all the female workers.
All the female workers. Just kidding.
Just the female ones. That's it.
Males don't really count. We know that. Wow.
I would say,
See,
well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking
that's what I was going to say too. Because
because
you're
it's
going to
like
get more
spread out.
variation in all the different districts.
Right. Because if you do one district, I mean, that could be like a higher wage district in comparison
Right.
to another part.
And if you
Cool.
do every 10th worker, you're still only going to get certain people because you're traveling the streets of Mumbai. This is
Right.
in each of the different districts, so I think it would be the best.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. 12.
You want to become the next Jonas Salk and produce a vaccine that will help kill children of respiratory that virus. You test the
Whatever
vaccine,
that is.
compare it to the placebo, and randomly choose one group of children to take the vaccine and one group to take the placebo. What or who are the experimental units or subject? Well, I'm kind of leaning towards children or the vaccine and the placebo, but they
Right.
wouldn't be
That's confusing me, right?
yeah, because it says the subject, but then it also says the experiment. Okay, actually,
I,
in the
I
in the
think it's
textbook,
the children.
yeah, in the textbook it talks about experimental units. I remember thinking that because I was like, the children are the experimental units. That doesn't sound right, but it is.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it is the children.
Because if you look at our, like the thing like the questionnaire we did before, the subjects on each one of them were people,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
they're the people receiving it. So I think that's right.
That's true
Okay.
because the vaccine and the placebo would actually be the treatment.
Right. There we
Yeah,
go. We just have to place in the right spot, and then it makes sense. They were trying. I swear they try to get you.
they do. They try to trick you.
Okay. 13. You want to become the next. Okay, it's the same thing. Jonas Salk. So what are the treatments? The treatments are
Which we just talked about, the vaccine and the placebo.
that placebo. Cool.
Glad we
All right.
discussed this, you know?
That we deciphered it. We already answered it. We didn't have to look at it, right?
Makes life easier.
Yes.
But dang,
Okay.
14 seconds.
I'll read that one. In 1992, the US government supported a study that was run for 15 years where 4,608 low-income families were given a chance to move to less impoverished areas. They distributed vouchers and provided various support systems. The researchers wanted to determine if getting people out of poor neighborhoods would reduce the poverty level of US citizens. This is really familiar.
The low-income families were randomly assigned to one of the following three groups. Low poverty voucher, which received Section 8 certifications and vouchers usable only in low poverty areas. The traditional, which received regular Section 8 certificates or vouchers. They were geographically unrestricted and ordinary briefings and assistance. And the control group, which received no certificates or vouchers but remained eligible for public or project-based housing and other social programs to which families would otherwise have been entitled. This was a what kind of study?
I think it's an experiment, but
I definitely agree with that because they have a control, they have a placebo group, they have a treatment
but
group.
they have like specifications like this
Yeah,
certificate says you can move into this part, right?
yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it says, well,
Because observational is more like a survey.
right. If it was observational, it would be just like, well, are they trying to change anything though? I guess they are because they're moving them, right?
Yeah, they're trying to change their chances of being impoverished.
Okay, yeah, I'd say it's an experiment. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I agree.
Okay.
Okay. If a p-value of 0.0002 was found for the study described above, then we could say that there is about a 0.002 probability of obtaining the actual observed result or one or more extreme, assuming the null is true. Holy crap. Okay,
I have no idea what that means.
let's take one more look at this. If the p-value of 0.2, so first of all, if that value was found, that means that the null was incorrect. Because it's
Okay.
got to be at least 0.005 for it to be correct.
Okay.
So then we could say that there's about a that probability of obtaining the actual observed result. So I think that's false because what that means is their null was false.
Right, because it didn't reach that point.
Right,
The
it didn't
what
reach
point zero
the
zero five, right?
required data. Yeah,
Okay.
so I think that's
Okay.
false.
That makes sense to me.
Since the p-value is low in question 5, the researchers will conclude that the results are significant and providing low-income families with an opportunity to move away from low-income neighbors does make a difference in poverty levels.
Oh,
I don't feel like that is true. If the p-value is low, that means it didn't work. So the researchers could conclude the results are significant. They are significantly low.
yeah, they are significantly low. Okay. Yeah,
I
like
think that would be false.
are significant.
Significance throwing me off.
Yeah, this is where it gets me where I'm like, okay,
Right?
does getting people out of poor neighborhoods reduce the poverty level? The change was, I mean, that looks really small to
Yeah.
me. So
I
is
think
that
we could go with
significant?
true. I mean false.
Yeah, I think it doesn't seem like it's significant enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's a like it would be worth it. Put all the effort, you know. So that's I think that's what it's asking, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's go with that.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. All right. So we're matching. So it says it might be different. So that'll make it kind of confusing.
Is your
Let's
number
just
one collect data?
yes.
Okay, good. It's the same.
But my A is step 2.
Mine too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Why don't we each do it and then we'll tell each other when we're done and see if we matched up.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right, cool.
Okay, I think I got it.
All right, I think I do too. Okay, I
Okay.
got A for number one.
collect data?
Yeah.
I have, okay. Collect data. So is your A step 2?
Yeah, my A is step 2.
Because my collect data, was the Daniel can discern more truth in the reading?
Yes,
Okay.
it was.
Mine, because when I wrote down, so my collect data goes with, did I screw it up? I bet you're right, and I'm just,
I think, so the way it goes is it's design the data, or design the study, collect the data, describe the data, make inferences, take action.
yeah. So, like, I guess it's so confusing. I'm confusing myself right now. Hold
The way
on.
it's set up on here is really weird.
So, like, for my, for my collect data, I matched it with step 1. Is that not right? That
Uh,
is wrong.
yeah,
See that?
that's wrong because collect data is step 2.
Okay. So that's what I screwed up. I was one step off of when I was doing my thing. So you got collect data as step 2, right?
Yeah,
Okay. And then take action
take
was
action.
step 5, right?
Yeah, was step 5. Yeah.
Okay. And then design the study was step 1.
Yes.
Okay. And then describe the data. Which one is that?
Step
That's
3.
step 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you almost done? Yeah, no, I have a meeting right after this. And then make inferences.
Step 4.
Okay.
And I actually gotta go because I've got a meeting.
So do
Another.
I. Cool. All
So,
right. Did you submit yours already?
no. Are you ready?
I'm scared too.
Let's
I'm
just.
trying to make sure like I got the bottom part right because I'm afraid I screwed it up again. I'm trying to make sure.
I think
What?
you've got it because you were reading your answers to me. I think you've got it. We'll submit on the count of 3. Ready?
Okay, I'm submitting.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Hey, it looks like we did really well.
Okay, cool. We got an 84.
That's
Is
not
that what
bad.
you got? You got an 84?
Yeah.
Cool. That's good enough for me. I'll take it.
All right.
So,
Are you gonna post the video on the link?
do I have access to it?
I have no idea. If you don't, then I will do it, and I'll send you an email letting you know that I did it. But I'll
Okay.
do it when I get back from my meeting because I gotta go.
Sounds good.
All right. And your name was Shuri, right?
Yep.
Okay. Super nice to meet you, Shuri. Nice
Nice
doing
to
business
meet
with
you
you.
too.
All right. Have a good day.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.